Welcome to seasons 2 of Lauren's Libations. So this month is dry January. It's a very fitting time for me to have this post going on, and I feel very fortunate to have the ability to do this with one of our closest friends, band followers, and a local food blogger. Let's get to our first person of 2021 and season 2. Hi, JoJo. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Lauren. Hi. I mean, LL Cool Base.
LL Cool Base, the name that is stuck around, man. I never thought it was going to stay, but it has stuck. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. This is JoJo Jernigan. She's a local food blogger and journalist here in Austin, Texas, and an avid band follower of ours that has always been there and tried and true since I can remember. So, again, thank you for being a part of the show and being a part of this journey through Lauren's Libations.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you tell the folks and viewers a little bit about yourself? Are you from here? Why'd you move here? What do you do? Kind of a couple things like that.
Sure. Well, I'm Jolene Jernigan, JoJo, and yeah, I've been writing in Austin for about 4.5 years for the Austinot and sometimes Austin Woman, Trebeza, magazine called Founding Austin, and I also do social media, and I just love Austin, love music, and I did not grow up in Austin. I grew up in Houston, but then I kind of traveled a really long way from Houston to Austin, from so to Mexico, to us, to Seoul, to Taiwan, to Chicago, to San Antonio, to Austin. So
Well traveled, yeah.
yeah, but I've lived in Austin though for almost 11 years. So I've kind of, it is a really good place and I'm happy here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been here a little bit over 4 years, and it's just a great city. And even somebody like you who's kind of been to multiple different places, I think that there's just this really awesome balance between food and beverage culture and music culture, and like the vibe is just a really awesome spot. And
Yeah.
been fortunate enough to have met you during that, and so that's again why we wanted to ask you to come onto the show, because we've been really happy to have you a part of our fan base and a close friend. So. Um, so today we're making a mocktail for you. As the viewers, just as you know, we've been doing kind of the same thing as I did with the bandmates, where I'm doing a dealer's choice. I kind of ask some simple questions to JoJo, what her likes or dislikes are, some favorite herbs, or if she likes, what her favorite non-alcoholic beverages are. And based off all the things that she gave me, I decided to kind of make a mock margarita. And it's a mango flavored margarita that's spicy, nice herbaceousness, and just has like a nice hint of lime to finish that off. So I think it just was really fitting kind of with the flavor profiles that you kind of gave me. Um, just to kind of ask a couple other questions, what type of cocktails do you normally drink, and or do you have favorite bars or restaurants in town that you tend to lean towards?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mean, when I drink cocktails, I love tequila and mezcal. I love whiskey. So those are the kind of flavors I play with. I don't like anything too sweet, so I like something like, but I do like tart. Like if I ever like mix something with whiskey, it would be like Campari, or just like a simple serve with that my lemon green taught us how to do, Heather Green, and with this, with just like the orange peel. And but yeah, I mean, I also, yeah, I like things that are a little bright and effervescent, but just not sweet.
Absolutely. And what would
But
be one
oh,
of
and
your
bars, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, sorry.
No, you got
Ours, I love like Mr. Pearl East, and they make a mean cocktail. And I love, of course, Clyde Bar. Those are my, I love those. That's my friend's bars. But I also, Nickel City makes a great cocktail. The Driscoll, those types of places. I like places. I mean, at the Driscoll, it's kind of fun to go and like with the bartender that knows what they're doing. I mean, and just say, hey, this is something that I used to love, but not too many people know about it. Can you make it? And kind of challenge them.
yeah.
It's fun.
Well, I think that's the beauty of it too, because the four different places that you named are four very different environments too. I love Clive Bar and Les Chipotle. I think
Yeah.
they're good outdoor summertime. And Driscoll again, you're going to that real classic smoky, loungy type of environment with like
Uh,
I want the best cocktail you can have, and so this is what I was trying to present with you and with the viewers of the beauty about being able to do any kind of bartending or mixologist, whether it's a non-alcoholic beverage or an alcoholic beverage, is really just finding those flavor profiles that work really well with each other and complement one another. That will at the end of the day be like, oh my god, that was so good.
it's fun to add some more things to my kind of repertoire because I'm always just like, okay, iced tea, hot tea, coffee, water, I mean, and sparkling water, and that's kind of what I drink all day, every day, and I drink a ton of water. So it's fun to have something just to make it a little more interesting, I think.
Yeah. And especially kombucha here, which is tea based, that we'll kind of go into a little bit more detail of what that is. All right, so let's talk about kombucha. What the heck is it? Why is it around everywhere? And what can I do with it? Well, I know that a lot of people are still intimidated by it because they don't actually know what a kombucha is. Kombucha is a fermented tea. So you're basically looking at whatever fermentation process, as you know, as alcohol, is what you're doing with kombucha, right? So we're taking a liquid, in this instance, a black or a green tea. We're combining that with the SCOBY, is what they call that, and that's going to be a kombucha culture, so a live yeast component. You're going to let both of those sit together and ferment for however long needed, right? It's a week, a month. It really depends on if you're making this at home, if you're buying this from, a nationwide company such as Synergy. It really depends. You can add different aromatic spices, flavors to them during the second fermentation. And that's really all this is. So it's just think of it as it's a tea that's been flavored, but now because it's gone through that fermentation process, it is going to have a little bit more of a robust flavor. You're looking at that vinegary flavor, that tartness, and that carbonated flavor. I think that incorporating this in a mocktail is such an awesome way of introducing yourself to kombucha because of the flavor profiles that you get from it and because they're already flavored. You don't really have to go an extra step. You get, these couple ingredients, you throw them together and you have a really, really awesome mocktail. We'll kind of go through the ingredients here. So again, this is just a mocktail margarita here. It's going to be spicy, it's going to be vibrant, it's going to be light. So first we have our kombucha here that we talked about, the Synergy kombucha, a Waterloo sparkling water. This is going to be my already infused jalapeno simple syrup there. We have tahine, which is especially just like a spicy seasoning that you can definitely use for anything. I like to eat it like on watermelon, but using that as like
That's
a rim is great. And then we have
great on fruit.
is going to be our key lime and then our mint. All right, so let's talk about the produce that we're using today. So you see here is a jalapeno and a few key limes. I'm sure most of you have seen a jalapeno, but maybe not all of you have seen key limes. And so essentially these are just like regular limes. They're just more kind of known for being Mexican or West Indian limes. So they're specifically from that region. And what is the main difference is they're just a little bit more concentrated in flavor. So you get a little bit more tartar flavor from it, more floral and aromatic notes coming from the concentrated limes themselves. A couple of recommendations I have for this if you're using jalapeno for the first time, especially in cocktails. The seeds and stems, that's where most of the heat is coming from. So let's be cognizant of taking those out if you feel like you want to have more of a mild flavor. Also, a nice test that you could do is if you just cut off the tip here of the jalapeno itself and put that little tip on your tongue, that is going to give you the level of spice in which this jalapeno is going to have at its mildest. We're going to start building this cocktail, but I know that I just wanted to kind of take a little stop before we do that and talk about Waterloo because you're the one who brought this up, which I was like, yes. So do you want to talk a little bit about Waterloo? Do you know anything about them or what you love?
Right. Well, I know that they're Austin local, and I just love them. They've got really interesting flavors. I actually haven't tried the strawberry, so this will be fun. I love the coconut. I drink a lot of the coconut and the lime, and the black cherry is my favorite. Yeah, because that just has like so much, and they don't some of the sparkling waters with flavors taste super weird, but Waterloo tastes really natural, and there's like no sugar. It's just like, and it's really properly effervescent. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
It's
the
good.
bubble ratio is really nice. It's not too, stringent almost. When you take a sip, you're not just like, oh man, your like eyes are watering or anything like that. They do use purified water, so that's a reverse osmosis process that they do, so that they clarify that of like all sodiums or like fluorides and all those things. So I
Yeah,
love it. I just think, like you said, it just has like that natural flavor, but it's like
yeah.
it's just mellow and it's great. And they're definitely my go-to sparkling water because I live off sparkling water. So
Yeah, me too. Waterloo, and I drink a lot of Rambler too, just for plain no flavor, you know.
yeah, yeah, it's
Also
always
Austin local, of course.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's go ahead and build this cocktail then. So we're going to start off with our rocks glass or whichever type of glass you have today. You can use a Collins glass. It's really up to you, but we do want to make sure that we rim this with the salt. So I usually get a little piece of lime and make a little insertion there with the knife so that you can get that to like wrap around. So you
Oh
basically
yeah.
want the lime juice to like hit the edges of the glass. That'll give it kind of that liquid on the outside that you need. I use a bowl. You can use a plate. I don't have like a really small, tiny plate. So whatever you can to throw
Right.
the salt
Oh, give
on.
me one sec. I forgot the salt, but can you
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll keep on. So
I thought I had everything.
utilize whatever you can. In this instance, I'm going to use a bowl because it can still get that circular motion happening. So I'm just going to hit this with the salt rim. This is a spicy salt rim because it's the tahini. I really love tahini because it already has all those flavors that you're looking for. This particular one that I'm using is actually with habanero. So extra spice. I like my spice. Not everybody does, but totally understanding. The regular tahini, the original tahini, is not as spicy, so we can go with that one. So once we got this glass rim, we're good there. Not a problem. I'm going to use a small part of my shaker to get all of the muddling and the incorporation of the beverages together. And then I'm going to put this all into the rocks glass. So um, I know that JoJo has disappeared for a moment, but no fear, we're fine.
Okay.
Technology works the way that it does, and that's absolutely not a problem. So, what we're going to do, if you are okay with the spice, I like to throw in one piece of jalapeno. I like to add just another like slice of fresh jalapeno, not necessarily for the spice, but for that green flavor. And then you're going to use about 3 or 4 pieces of mint. I have small little pieces, so I'm going to go more on the 4 side on that. And you're just going to kind of just rip them up just slightly. You don't have to rip them up a bunch, just so that it's in there on the bottom of your tin. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw in the lime juice, which I've already juiced and put into this little ramekin. I'm going to pour that in, and that's going to be a 1/2 ounce of lime juice.
Yeah.
I'm going to do 1/2 ounce.
Measure ounce. Okay. So we put in the lime juice before we muddle?
Yeah, so put in the lime juice before you muddle, and then
Okay.
we're going to do the 1/2 ounce of the spicy simple syrup, which we'll talk about how to make that on its own. All right, next thing here is how do we get this into this, which is going to be my spicy infused simple syrup. You can kind of see in there are little seeds floating around in there. I don't mind spice, so I don't mind having those floating. However, if you really want to make sure that you get this strained out, go ahead and use a sieve to get that completely out. Now, the best part about cutting the jalapeno, let's be cognizant that this is a spicy pepper. So what I always have in hand whenever I'm dealing with spicy stuff is a glove. This is the best tool you can have in your kitchen if you're used to using spicy things. So you want to go ahead, cut this into the slices as we said before. Do whatever the process is that you feel most comfortable for the spice level. And then you're going to add this to a simple syrup. We've talked about this before. You're looking at a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 ratio of sugar to 1 ratio of water. Get that diluted and boiled on the stove, or in my instance, using a Keurig, so using really hot water and just making sure that that all gets dissolved. You're gonna add that jalapeno into here. And unlike the other infusions that we've done on this show, this is a quick infusion because it is a spice level, because this is going to penetrate that simple syrup a lot more than, say, an herb or spices. So what you want to do is you want to add the jalapenos here, give it a nice little shake around so that it kind of hits everything in the jar itself, and set a timer for 30 minutes. At that 30 minutes, you want to go ahead and taste the simple syrup and see what the spice level is for you. See what the vegetal green flavor is to you. If you feel like that's a perfect place and you're okay with that, extract the jalapeno from that moment on. If you feel like you can take it a little bit longer, I would do that in 10-minute increments after that. And once you reach the desired spice level, go ahead and take out the jalapeno completely from that and then store this on its own. This should last up to about a month, but no longer than that.
And there's mine. Mine still has a little bit of jalapeno in it.
Yeah, yeah. Mine has a couple seeds in there, so those are like the fun little surprise that you might get in this drink.
Yeah.
You want to have just a little bit of liquid in your glass when you're muddling. For a traditional cocktail, sometimes you'll just use the bitters if that cocktail calls for bitter. So you just have a little bit of something in there so that you can break everything up. So now that the lime juice and the simple are in there, I'm going to go in there with my muddler and I'm going to just kind of break this all up. To muddle, traditionally, what you want to do is you want to go in there and actually like push down and turn, push down and turn. You don't want to go in there and just like, chop it away and go up and down, but you actually want to go in there and turn so that this breaks up whatever is actually in the glass that needs to be muddled. Once you do that, about 5 or 6 little doohickeys in there, you should be good. Yeah, I see that you got a little juice. You got to be creative.
Improvise.
You can also use a wooden spoon if you don't have a muddler, a handle of some sort, or as JoJo's using a juicer there. Anything to really just get in there and get it all messed up. So.
Ooh, I just took a big breath of the jalapeno. It's like, woo!
So now that we have that in there, we want to go ahead and add the rest of the beverages that we have, which is going to be our Waterloo and our kombucha. So we're going to do 2 ounces each of those. Now I'm doing 2 ounces because there is sugar still in that kombucha. So I want equal parts because, as JoJo had mentioned, she's not huge on sweet. So this is giving the flavor of the mango without it being overly just like a sweet beverage. And kombucha doesn't have like a whole bunch of sugar to it. It's just a matter of like, it does have that sweetness. And then we're using the strawberry Waterloo because, again, one of her fruits that she said she liked was strawberry. Strawberry and mango work really well together. It gives it another nice bright flavor, and it's giving you flavor, not sugar. So that's another way to incorporate that sparkling water aspect and just heightening more. Now you can use a lime, but for me, it's about how can I use all of my references without having just a singular note. So if I use the lime sparkling and key limes, then I'm just kind of getting a 1-note flavor profile.
Right.
Perfect. So then we'll add the kombucha as well. Be careful when you open this because it is carbonated. So you don't want to.
I don't, for some reason, I always want to shake it before I open it because it looks like juice. And then I'm like, oh no, I can't open it because it'll, spew all over.
So sometimes the sediment does settle. So the best way to do that, too, just to make sure that you're getting that yeast incorporated, is just like if you like turn it up and then turn it back down. But then also still be aware that it is going to do that. But yeah, shaking it, that sounds like a party.
Right?
Yeah.
You can hear it. Aha.
So you can just give this a little mix, nothing too crazy, just a little spin in there. This side. And we have our glass here. I have a couple cubes of ice, so I'm going to just drop those in there as well. Actually, I can get one more ice cube. There we go. So the next step here is really up to preference. So if you're if you're a mojito drinker, you know that usually there's like mint floating in there, the jalapeno floating in there. If you're fine with that, go ahead, throw it in. If you're like, I don't really want to bite on some mint at any point, you can always siphon that out. But as JoJo did, I'm just going to pour this in because I like having my mint kind of continue to penetrate the beverage and brighten it up. So
I think it looks festive too.
Perfect. And so I'll get a little bit closer here so we can see what these beverages look like. Awesome.
Wow.
Mango, strawberry, spicy mocktail margarita. All right, let's give it a try.
All right.
Mm.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yep, has that nice kick of heat in the back, but like right up forward is that mango that comes in. This would be great with like Taco Tuesday, just hanging out on the patio in the middle of summer. JoJo, I appreciate you being a part of the show. Cheers to Dry January, and thank you for the inspiration.
Cheers to Dry January. Cheers to you, and cheers to Miss Mack and the Daddies.
If you're interested in being a part of this segment and want to try to do a mocktail with me, feel free to reach out. You can always go to our website, mackdaddymusic.com, to contact us there. Let us know you're interested in being a part of this taping, and we'll definitely get back to you.